All right, let's get started. A very warm welcome to each one of you all to the session on all that you need to know about B2B e-commerce. This is Rakesh Ravi Kumar. I take care of the business side of things at Sigma. I'm sure this will be a fascinating and a worthwhile session for all of us. A quick note, we'll be having a Q&A session post this presentation. Please do send in any questions using the Q&A option. We will take them up towards the end. Without any further delay, let me introduce our panelists for the day. First up, we have Neeraj Gupta. Neeraj heads the entire e-commerce practice at Sigma, and I truly admire his passion towards new and emerging technologies. He's been in the industry for over 25 years now and has been a valuable asset to companies like Dell, Motorola, Infosys, and L&T, to name a few. Glad to have you here, Neeraj.
Thanks, Rakesh.
Welcome. We also have Paushali Datta on the panel today. So Paushali collaborates closely with our customers to understand their strategy, process, the direction they're headed towards, and crafts customized solutions to them. She has over 10 years of experience in the industry and a track record of providing foolproof solutions. Welcome, Paushali.
Thank you, Rakesh.
Before I hand it over to Neeraj and Paushali, let me give you all a quick overview about what Sigma is all about. Sigma has been in the industry for over 18 years now, serving as a trusted IT partner globally. Headquartered in Irvine, California, with multiple development centers in India, we are a team of about 400 technocrats. Sigma as a certified Adobe Solutions partner and a Shopify partner as well. Talking about e-commerce, we've delivered over 250 projects, e-commerce projects specifically, globally till date. From a quality and security standpoint, we are ISO 9000, 27000, SOC Type 1 and Type 2 certified. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thanks, Rakesh. And thanks, everybody, and good afternoon. And thanks for joining in. Yeah, so today's session, we're going to be covering, these are the following key takeaways from this session. We'll be talking about the latest B2B e-commerce trends, and we have seen the customer behavior, whether it's a B2B or B2C, has really changed a lot post-pandemic. So we will talk about very interesting stats in this presentation. We'll also be covering, let's say you're not currently on a B2B platform, so we'll also be covering how you can get started your B2B journey. We'll be covering some of the aspects of that. And let's say if you're already kind of running the B2B store, how you can make it more efficient by adding some of the advanced level features and bringing in some of the integration, which will bring a lot of efficiency to your business. So those aspects we will cover one by one as part of that. And I'm sure it is going to be very much insightful to all of our audience today. Moving on. Yeah, so as I said, we'll be covering these three parts. So as the first part, we'll be kind of showing you some stats, and I'm sure you'll find it very interesting to kind of very eye-opener, I would say, because typical kind of people think B2B is for the specific businesses, B2B e-commerce is for the specific business, not for everybody. But once you see the stats, once you see the slide deck further, you will appreciate it is very different, especially post-pandemic. So I'll request Paushali to take it forward from here on to cover some of the aspects related to this particular topic. Over to you, Paushali.
Thank you, Neeraj. Hello, everyone. Paushali here. And today, I will take you on a very interesting journey of how the pandemic has acted as a catalyst in bringing about a paradigm shift in the way customers now deal with the digital world, be it in the field of education, medical consultations, or shopping, and how these changes are here to stay, and how this changed behavioral pattern can be harnessed to grow your B2B e-commerce business. So let's dive in. So here we present a few key metrics for the current B2B e-commerce trends. So we see that as high as 70% of the B2B buyers now find buying from a website far more convenient. And 75% of customers do an online research before an online purchase. Buyers are now demanding self-service options, wherein they can access resources and decide what they want to do all on their own. Modern buyers prefer to conduct research themselves, where they can get details pertaining to product, product pricing, product quality, etc., all on their own without having to approach the customer representative. And how has this been possible? Well, with the advent of technology and the increase in the number of tech-savvy people, we now have information at our fingertips. Now, in a market where most interactions are online, buyers are increasingly concerned about data privacy and the security of the transactions. And our current B2B or rather e-commerce platforms are very well equipped. In fact, they have a lot of security features to take care of these concerns. The websites need to be PCI compliant and need to run some security patches to do not have any issues of this sort. Now, next, let's look at the e-commerce, B2B e-commerce trends from the perspective of buyers. So this is the data presented by a study conducted by McKinsey. So we see that before the pandemic started, there was almost a neck-to-neck competition in the distribution of customers who prefer the traditional sales interaction as opposed to the digitally enabled sales interaction. However, the very same study conducted during peak COVID time showed a complete change in scenario. Now, 2/3 of the customers prefer the digitally enabled sales interaction, which is double the number of customers who would still prefer the traditional sales interaction. Quite a change, I must say, isn't it? Today, 94% of the B2B decision makers find the new omni-channel sales model far more effective. With the increase in the number of mobile apps, social media channels, and various communities, now it is very easy and rather convenient to get in touch with customers, stakeholders, to advertise your product, for customers to get information about various products, their feedback, quality of the product, after sales service, etc. Now let's move on and check what's the B2B e-commerce trends from the supplier's perspective. This again is a study conducted by McKinsey. So we see that the preference for in-person interaction at each step of conducting a B2B business is reducing. And this very same sentiment is echoed by the customers as well. And why is it so? Reasons can be ease of scheduling meetings, saving on travel expenses, saving on time, and during COVID times, safety was definitely a concern, right? So in a B2B business where one needs to deal with multiple stakeholders at each step of conducting a business, these reasons are important enough. Now, more than 42% of distributors believe that creating a more sophisticated website to meet their customers' need is their biggest challenge. Today, the customer is very well informed. He has information at his fingertips. And I'd say they are in fact picky about in their likes and dislikes. And I would not be exaggerating if I say that the current e-commerce platforms are very well equipped to take care of these aspects as well. Now, let's look at what's the new normal in the B2B e-commerce trends. So this is a study conducted by McKinsey. So we see that buyers are now willing to spend big using remote or self-service. If we were to add the numbers here, we can see around 60% of the customers do not mind spending amounts over $50,000 while purchasing online, out of which over 15% are willing to spend amounts over $1 million, which is a really huge number. So we can see that the customer has started to trust the online channels. And this has been made possible because the e-commerce platforms have evolved over time to offer a rich set of features to the customers. So here, let me pause for a moment while you take a look at the data that has been presented. Well, the next question that we need to ask ourselves now is, the pandemic is long gone, it's over. Why do we still continue the digital way? Few reasons I could think of is ease or convenience of interacting or communicating with customers, with stakeholders, convenience of conducting your business, saves on travel time, expense, or rather, I'd say in a nutshell, it makes the job of running your business much easier. So with this, I'll hand it over to Neeraj. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thanks for Charlie. Definitely, it was quite insightful to see like it's becoming digital first, right? Whether it's a B2B or B2C, people want to have the interaction first through the digital channel first, and then kind of take the journey forward, right? So definitely, I think this is the channel which cannot be ignored by any B2B businesses. They need to consider having their B2B e-commerce in place to kind of bring efficiency definitely for the existing users, definitely kind of add more, acquire more customers and all that. Definitely like very much insightful, and thanks for that. So moving on. Yeah, so I request all of our participants to kind of, there's a quick poll here. So if you can spare a minute and provide your feedback. Okay, so I think 100% people feel they started using B2B commerce during pandemic. Definitely, I think we also saw that particular trend. A lot of usual businesses, conventional businesses wanted to have the presence online so that they can still not lose their sale and continue with that. And as we all saw, like that becomes the new normal now, and everybody would like to have that as a new channel and new way of kind of working and buying even the items which are related to B2B. Yeah, thanks for your participation. Moving on. Yeah, so as we all saw, like this is a channel which cannot be ignored, with a lot of meaningful data, what we saw in the previous slides shared by Paushali. So definitely, like if you are not really still on the B2B journey and you would like to start, so the next section will talk about that. What are the kind of main feature we should consider while thinking about your B2B journey, right? So I'll again ask Paushali to kind of talk more about that in detail. Yeah, Paushali.
Thank you, Neeraj. So in this section, we will look at a few of the must-have features or very basic must-have features without which any B2B e-commerce website cannot be considered complete. So let's look at what these are. So as a customer, I would want to have complete authority over my purchase. There should be options like a very easy searching a product option, wherein it is easy to search for a product I want. Ordering a product should be convenient. I should be able to request for a quote, and I should be able to reorder products according to my requirement. There should be a responsive customer support team and easy and flexible purchase. So these are very options which we all know about. So we'll not go into detail about these, and we look at the other options or the other features which are available. So the next must-have feature is the company account. So now in a B2B business, I might have multiple people working with me, having different roles, responsibilities, looking at different functional areas. I might have a set of people who tell me what are the products I need to procure. There might be a different set of people looking after the budget and the financial aspects, and they will tell me how much of what I want to order I can actually go and order. Further, I might have another set of people who might actually be placing the order or approving it, right? So we see that we have a kind of a hierarchy. So using the company account feature, multiple users can purchase from a single company account. Once the company admin has been set up, the admin can create a hierarchy and set up roles and responsibilities for each members. The company admin can set permissions for people who can order, place quotes, access payment transfer information, and see the purchase limits. So we can see that using the company account feature, I can have the same hierarchy which I have in my business mapped on to the platform, to the website, right? So next, let's look at some of the time and effort saving features. Now, in a B2B business, I might have a list of items or products that I need to procure on a very regular basis, say every week, bi-weekly, once a month. And in a B2B scenario, this list could be huge. So imagine each time, every week or every 15 days, I have to search for all the products, add them to the cart, order them. It becomes a really cumbersome process for me. Instead, if I had a feature where I could save this list of frequently procured items, and when the need arises, I revisit and place order accordingly, it would make my job much more simpler. Further, if there was a feature wherein if I knew the code of a product, I could order it right away. It would be convenient for me. So the shopping list and the quick order features help in doing this. Further on, request a quote. Authorized customers can initiate negotiation process. So how this works is that once the customer decides what they want to purchase, the customer requests for a quote. The store admin receives the quote and can either approve it, decline it, or can come back with changes. So this goes back and forth between the store admin and the customer till an agreement has been reached. Once customer agrees on the quote, he can go ahead and place an order. Next, complex pricing. We all know that the ability to have control over the pricing of a product is very important. So as a B2B business owner, I might want to have different pricing for different customers based on the customer groups according to the customer segmentation. I might want to give special discount for a customer or for a regular customer on a product and not give an equally discounted price for somebody who comes to me once in a blue moon, right? I might want to have dynamic pricing based on the market rules of supply and demand. I might even want to have tiered pricing based on the quantity of a product ordered. So all this complex permutation and combination can be very, very easily achieved using the complex pricing feature. And last but not the least is the sales rep and the CSR login. This feature helps sales rep and the CSR to use the e-commerce site as a customer. They can order on behalf of the customer in case the customer has issues, right? So with this, we come to the end of the section where we have discussed the must-have B2B features without which any B2B e-commerce platform cannot be considered complete. So with this, I'll hand it over to Neeraj. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thanks for Charlie, and definitely our audience will also find it quite interesting, and we are already seeing some of the questions flowing in, and I'm sure with the explanation which you have given, they must be able to relate it to the real world, right? They have a credit limit for their customers, they have like reordering done by the customer, right? And stuff like that, negotiation happening, but offline currently, and they can definitely relate that the technology can enable all those features and the differential pricing, dynamic pricing based on the customer profile, right? So there are many factors which can be very well accounted in platforms like this, right? There are multiple platforms, you can decide which one is right for the customer. But this B2B e-commerce definitely enables all the real world scenarios, and you are very well captured, and we see a lot of interest from our participants also to know more about that. So they have posted some question as well, which we'll take it up at the end of it. So let's move on to the next one. Yeah, so here we have a quick kind of a poll again to gather the feedback from our participants today to kind of see whether what we are talking is resonating with their expectations or their experiences or not. So please take a moment to provide your feedback here. Okay, so we see like around 33% people kind of talk about having quick orders has been added, which was requested by their customer. Request a quote was definitely one feature which they have probably requested or added to their website. And like some percentage of people also think like all those features was added or requested by their end customer. So which definitely defines like this is something which is becoming the new normal, as we all discussed earlier as well. And this channel cannot be ignored, and we need to really see like how we can add that particular e-commerce capabilities here. So moving to the next one. Yeah, so far we covered like what is the need, right? What has changed post-pandemic, the behavior of buyer and seller both. We also talked about if you are new to your journey on e-commerce, how you can get started, what are the key features and which you can relate to your day-to-day kind of interaction with the B2B buyers, right? So negotiation and stuff like that. And let's say you're already kind of up and running on a B2B e-commerce platform and you want to bring more efficiency to your system, right? So you can definitely look at more advanced level features. You can also look at more integrations with your existing systems. And you can also kind of measure whether your investments are making sense or not. There are many tools and techniques which we'll talk in the next section. And so that it'll be quite insightful, and it is going to be slightly longer particular section because we have more things to share here. And again, I'll ask Vaishali to take us forward on that particular journey.
Thank you, Neeraj. So in this section, we will look at some of the advanced B2B features. The first we'll discuss is the payment options. We all know that payment is a very important and an integral part of any transaction, right? And different people, different users, different customers are comfortable with different modes or methods of payment. Imagine a scenario where a customer is in mid-transaction and is not comfortable with the modes of payment offered. He or she might abandon the transaction and we end up losing on business, right? So, however, in a B2B world, the payment is far more complex in comparison to the B2C world. So we have a lot of different modes or methods of payment, which are currently being very commonly used, those being credit limits set by a supplier, ACH, EFT, credit card, wallets, purchase order. Then we have alternatives for offline methods payment as well. So all these different methods and modes of payment should be available in my B2B e-commerce platform. In fact, it should also allow customers to directly transfer their shipping expenses to the accounts of delivery partners such as FedEx, DHL, etc. Continuing on the payment options, let's now discuss purchase order, which is a very, very commonly used mode of payment in the B2B world. So purchase order is something which is pre-authorized and pre-approved, and it offers two advantages. One, the customer need not make an advance payment prior to the purchase. And second, it safeguards the seller against any fraudulent transaction. So we see it's a win-win situation from both sides, right? So while placing the order, the customer just needs to enter the PO number. And while accepting the order, the backend checks the validity of the PO number. Quite a convenient method, right? So now let's look at a couple of other features. Shopping cart. So as we discussed in a previous section that in a B2B business, I might have multiple people with different roles and responsibilities looking after different functional areas, right? I might have a set of people who are adding products to the cart, a different set of people who are reviewing the products that have been added to the cart, and further a different set of people who might be actually placing the order, right? So the cart, it needs to ensure that the cart needs to be intuitive enough, right? It should allow levels of approval on the product selection and the checkout process as well. It should facilitate the ability to create multiple shopping carts for users based on their current needs. All these requirements are can very well be satisfied using the shopping cart feature. Now let's look at some very important features, real-time inventory updates. We all know that in an e-commerce or in a digital world, we might have multiple users from different geographic locations placing orders concurrently. In such a scenario, it is very important that the real-time data flows into the system. Think of a scenario where a customer places an order only to be told later down the line that his or her order can't be fulfilled because we are out of stock. Imagine, right? The customers lose trust in your brand. So we see how important it is to have real-time data in our system. So real-time inventory updates helps in ensuring that we have real-time data in our system. Another important feature is the return merchandise authorization. Many a time, customers are skeptical placing orders online. They think, what if the product I receive does not fit the requirement? What if I receive a different product? What if the product is damaged during shipping? Am I stuck with the same product? Right? So having an option wherein a customer can easily exchange items or issue refunds will alleviate their fear, right? And this will help in building trust, and we'll definitely see increase in the number of returning customers. So having a return management option is very important. Next, requisition list. Requisition list is something like a wish list, where we can save a list of very frequently purchased items, and these can be added to the shopping cart directly. Customers can even have multiple lists for different suppliers, different buyers, different users. Quite a useful feature, right? And next, we have the requested delivery date. Now, in a B2B world, a customer might be placing an order today and might request that the products be delivered 10 days down the line, or maybe after a month. In a factory or a warehouse setup, the customer might actually not have the logistics to store the products if it is delivered before time. And we know the consequences if it's not delivered on time, it's delivered after time. So having the requested delivery feature will help us to determine whether the order was completed on time or not. So with this, we have covered all the advanced B2B features. Now, the next question that we need to ask ourselves at this point is my journey in setting up my B2B e-commerce store over? Can I safely say that my website is ready to go live? Let's pause for a moment and think over it. So the answer to this question is no. We still have a few more steps to go ahead before we can safely say that our store is ready to go live. So what these are, we will cover in the subsequent slides by asking the question, what next? So let's see what these are. Third-party integrations. So today we have a lot of software development happening around us. New frameworks are being developed, new services are being developed. And all these services and frameworks help in increasing or improving the efficiency of my system. These integrations facilitate critical functions such as real-time inventory updates, pricing consistency, order synchronization, AI-powered commerce. As a B2B business owner, I might have an ERP system in place to do my bookkeeping. I might already have it in place. And I may want that to be integrated with my B2B e-commerce platform. Other integrations that can be opted for are CRM, PIM e-commerce, and e-procurement. What these are, let's see what they are. CRM is a customer relationship management. So the data from my user database flows to the CRM system, and this CRM sends out automated emails to my customers, emails pertaining to subscriptions, promotions, coupons, or any personalized email, that too without any manual intervention. PIM stands for Product Information Management. So as a business owner, I might be selling my product. I might have my own website. Apart from it, I might be selling my products on other online channels like Amazon, eBay, Marketplace, right? So it is very important that there's a consistency in the products, their description, their pricing across all the channels. So having a central repository which stores the data of all the products and services I offer in one place would be helpful. Say tomorrow there's a change in any product description or pricing, and I just need to make changes to the central repository. This change information flows out in all the online channels. So it ensures data consistency across board, right? Next is e-procurement. This helps in streamlining the process of procuring, purchasing, and requisition. So now that we have the best advanced, we have all the basic features, we have all the, rather the must-have features, we have all the advanced B2B features, and we have a couple of third-party integrations. So what is the next step? So let's see what that is. So now the next thing which I need to see is how these various integrations and various third-party systems work together in tandem. In fact, all these systems should be able to work seamlessly as a single unit. That is the goal in this step. So in a B2B journey, B2B world, the shopper's journey is far more complicated and long drawn, and we have a lot of stakeholders involved. In fact, we can call it a three-part shopper's journey. The first part is when a customer lands on my website and finds a product which he or she likes. That is the product discovery phase. Second is when the product is added to cart. That is when the customer is convinced that he or she likes the product and would like to try out the product. And the third phase is a checkout phase when the customer actually buys the product. Okay, so now if I had a way of finding out a percentage of customers that land on my website actually end up buying a product, I would get an indication of how happy the customers are with my website. And in fact, it will give me an indication of the conversion rate of my website. So now, if we had a system in place which could track this three-phase shopper's journey, analyze, find problems, in case of any problem, create a solution, deploy the solution, test the solution and see if there has been any improvement in the conversion rate, and do the entire thing in an iterative manner, repeat the entire process in an iterative manner, it would be very helpful for me. So conversion rate optimizers help in doing all this entire set of operations. So just to give you a few example of what kind of issues a conversion rate optimizer might be able to address. So say I land on a website and it takes ages to load. I'm not happy, but I get bored, right? In fact, research shows that conversion rates are best attained when the load time is between 0 to 4 seconds. Or there's a beautiful search feature on the website. I have given all the possible search options, and the product which matches most is actually the end of the list, search list. I'm not happy as a customer. Secondly, further, I am in the middle of a payment and it hangs or it times out. So you see, these are the kind of issues that can be addressed if I have a conversion rate optimizer in place. So now coming to the last leg. So now we have all the must-have features. We have very good advanced set of features. I feel my customers are loving it. I have integrated with a couple of third-party systems. My system is running efficiently, and I have made sure there's a convert rate optimizer in place, which ensures that all these systems are working together as a single entity. So now what next, right? Next, I need to find out how my business is performing. So before that, I need to be able to answer a few questions like, how are my orders growing? How are my products performing? Which are the fast-moving products? Which are the slow-moving products? Who are my most loyal customers? Who are on the verge of churning, or who are the lost customers? So depending upon that, create customer segments and have specific marketing strategies for each customer segment. Is my coupon strategy working? Are my campaigns effective? Or it's the end of season or end of year sale and I run to get the revenue or the sales report. I get the report and then I match it against the previous year or the previous month's report to see how better I have done, right? So a lot of things I need to do. So instead, if there was a tool in place which could look at all these questions, analyze and give me a few action items, it would be very easy for me to analyze. Another scenario could be I have stores in multiple geographic locations. I might want to see which store is doing better or which product is selling better in which location. So all this analysis can be very easily done if I have a BI tool in place. All right. So today we have a lot of data at hand thanks to the digital way of doing things now, but we need to be able to harness this data to generate actionable insights, which will help in growing my business. So let's look at a couple of BI tools. So we have a few e-commerce platforms which already have an integrated business intelligence tools. And for those platforms which do not, there are a lot of frameworks available which can be configured. So let's look at a few names. Magento Business Intelligence, it is specific to Magento. Looker is a part of Google Cloud. Power BI is a product of Microsoft, and Pentaho and Conversific are frameworks. All right, so with this, I come to the end of my presentation and I'll hand it over to Neeraj. Over to you, Neeraj.
Thanks, Pashali, for giving a lot of insights about how more efficiency can be brought into the system of e-commerce. And definitely, like as we all say, right, the things which can be measured can only be improved, right? So there are very mechanisms to kind of measure how business is performing, which channels are working. As you said, like there are many questions which we need to get the right answers and take the corrective actions on the go, right? So that definitely there are a lot of tools and techniques are available, which are definitely not available in the offline world, which can talk about more about customer segmentation, customer behavior, their likes and dislikes, and stuff like that, and which can be definitely fed back to the business to grow it further. So yeah, so moving on. Yeah, so here we have a very quick poll to kind of see if any of our participants are looking for any help around the e-commerce thing. So we request you to please take a moment and provide your feedback. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And yeah, so some questions are still flowing in. Yeah, so this is by the time more questions are coming in, let's quickly summarize what we kind of covered so far. Like as we all saw, like there's a more inclination towards a digital kind of a buying experience for the buyers, which because of the mobile apps and social media, they get to see their mobile is with them all the time. They're playing around with that. They have data at their disposal. They can look for the products and all that. So that's where B2B cannot be ignored to be available online. We also saw like digital first kind of a interaction. People are liking that as a first point of interaction and then take it forward with the physical meetings and stuff like that. And again, I think with that particular section, we all got convinced saying that like we need to have e-commerce, B2B e-commerce in place, right? And to enable that, like there are certain features which resonates with the real world things like company account, which kind of have the credit limits set up for the customer segmentation is there and stuff like that. Quick order, request for quote, shopping list, and many things which we talked about during our presentation, and also kind of helping the customer by logging in with their login and helping them to place the order. So those things are very much needed for the B2B e-commerce. Later, like we also talked about like having some advanced features like the various payment option, because B2B world is not a straightforward world where we just key in our credit card details and we can make a purchase. People may have a credit limit, they may have a approved purchase order, they may use offline payment, or they may have some kind of credit time frame and stuff like that. So it's a bit complex and which can be handled by any platforms. And we also saw like the other things like how the multiple people are involved, how they can share the wish list, they can share the cart and kind of have the feedback done, and there's the approval process in place, and they can place the order. Like we also saw like the third party integration, which can bring in a lot of efficiency to the whole system. Like whole all the system will work together as a single unit, where you need not worry like if my offline orders are coming and online orders are coming, how do I feed back to my order management system, or how do I manage my inventory? So all the systems can talk to each other real time, and then you have a one view of your business, like how what inventory you have in hand and what kind of things are there. Then we also saw like the conversions, because after spending so much time, energy, money to have your e-commerce in place, right, you need to make sure like the customer who are visiting your site are able to buy the products what they need. And for that there are many tools which can be leveraged and which can run the A/B testing as well, like wherein you can see the customer behavior and like really see what is really working for the customer and try it out with few sections of the customer and make it like whichever strategy is working, we make it as part of the complete website. So those things can be done. And we also talk about analytics, as you all say, like every click is kind of counted somewhere or the other. We can definitely kind of take care of those data sets and make use of that data set to enable our sale, increase our sales. So those are the some of the crucial points which we have covered. And I hope this was interesting for all our audience. And with that, like I'll ask Rakesh to look at the questions, and maybe we're happy to answer the question posted by our audience today.
Yes, thanks, Neeraj. Thanks, Paushali. So let's see what questions we've got from the audience. So we are picking a few questions here in the interest of time. So first question is from Miss Sara. So her question is, we are a new business to business commerce. Which platform do you recommend we start with?
Okay. So Sarah, there's no kind of a single answer to this question, because there are many platforms. We bring a lot of different capabilities. And so based on like what kind of expectation you have from the platform, what business you are doing, what is your future roadmap, and what kind of investments and what kind of a team you have on your side, like which can handle these platforms, right? So based on that, we can make a decision, and we'll be happy to connect with you offline to kind of take it forward to see like where you are in your journey of B2B e-commerce and which platform is the right platform. We work with multiple platforms, and we can definitely will be happy to help you on that journey.
So next we have another question from Mr. Mike. So the question is, can B2B e-commerce be used in any industry? Will e-commerce work for us, a cable manufacturing industry?
Yeah, definitely. Why not? Because as we saw, like everybody start their journey with the looking at the Google and then kind of finding the product and then taking it forward, right? So definitely need to have the ability to kind of have your business also enabled online so that people can buy it. And with our experience in the last few years, we also seen like very different kind of products which we never thought will come to the online space. Like people are selling chemicals, industrial items, people are selling like conduits and very heavy kind of a hardware stuff, and they are doing very well because it allows you two things. One is definitely you must be selling it to the offline buyer, so that buyers also can be brought into the same platform, which bring a lot of efficiencies to the whole system. And definitely you can also look for acquiring new customers. So definitely it is relevant for the cable manufacturer like yours as well to have this particular B2B e-commerce in place.
Yep. Hope your question is answered, Mike. So next we have a question from Mr. Vinny. Yes. Is it a good idea to customize my website only for B2B customers?
This question not very clear what is the exact expectation, but definitely if he's talking about personalization, it can be very well done for the B2B buyers as well, because everybody is kind of spoiled by looking at the Amazons and stuff like that to see like when they log in, they want to see where they left their journey, what product they browse and stuff like that. And in B2B world also, like if you have a large catalog, it makes sense to have those personalizations done. And if there anything else which you wanted to kind of understand, we can connect you offline and answer your question in more detail with whatever information I have. I hope this is what you're looking at, and we are happy to kind of connect you later on and take it forward.
Okay, Neeraj. We'll try connecting with Vinny offline again. So we have another question from Miss Georgie. So her question is, how do I pick the best B2B e-commerce platform for my company?
Okay. So yeah, as we discussed in the previous question as well, like what is the decision point, on what basis you decide whether which platform is the right platform for you. So there are many factors which we need to understand, what kind of products you are selling, what kind of a roadmap you have. So I would still say like we need to go more deeper into that and understand the requirements, and happy to recommend the platform which suits your business needs.
Okay. So we'll pick one last question, and the question is from Mr. Fernie. So the question is, if we wish to get a website done from you, how long will it take to go live?
Yeah, so again, as we saw, like the site can definitely start with the basic or must-have features, and we can kind of build more complex features, be more customized features, integrate with the other systems as well. But to start with, I'm sure like the first version we can make it out in within 3 months, and then add more features based on the how things are going, what kind of roadmap you have. But definitely, agile is the way to go forward, and we can have that particular store online within 3 months of starting the project, and kind of build more feature set, more advanced capabilities to the platform, keep adding to that one more, do more integration. If you are using any of the system like CRM, payments, or any of accounting software, or any ERP you are using, we can definitely integrate in the later point of time to bring more efficiency to the whole system, so that it works as a single unit, and you need not worry about your offline and online order. Everything get tracked at a single place.
Yeah. Well, these were the questions. Thank you very much, Neeraj and Paushali, for
Thanks,
this
Rakesh.
very insightful session. Yeah, nevertheless, I'd like to thank all the participants for being such a wonderful and active crowd. The recording link of the session will be shared to you all shortly. So yeah, it will be sent via email. Well, we've come to the end of this webinar, but I promise we'll be back with another interesting topic very soon. We'll keep you posted on the same as well. Well, see you all very soon. Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.